Hello, I had to come back. Screen froze up on me. You know, this is not one of those professional channels. I'm not making money. I'm not getting on here talking about Trump every day just to boost sales. I mean, it's a lot going on. You know, I do know that a lot of those channels do say what needs to be said because you know these mainstream channels they scared. Why is people scared of this? Who is they scared of? What I mean, really, what is the problem? I thought this was a smart, educated, sophisticated country. I thought we was governed by smart people, um, Christian people. I say that very lightly. What are these people scared of? Now, it's hard to put a finger on exactly what they're scared of. All this money out here. Maybe they're not scared. Maybe they just being who they are. Um, what are we gonna do though? What can we do? I seen Trump um, talking. Oh, this fan. I seen him. Well, I heard him talking while he was in Scotland. If that man don't have a teleprompter in front of him, he sounds well. He sounds like an idiot with the teleprompter, but without that teleprompter, what is he talking about? And they are sitting here acting like it's okay to have this criminal, child molester, sexual predator calling him the most powerful man on the planet? How do you even fix your mouth to say that? They wouldn't even say that about Hitler. And Hitler was killing millions of people and running a country and going to war with people. Is it because did they be able to say they're the most powerful because they dropped a atomic bomb and killed millions of people that never done nothing to us? And we all know that they did not have to uh, do that. They did it because they paid for it and they want their money's worth. They did it because they scared little boys playing with toys. The military is just like toys to them because they're not out there on that battleground getting shot up, running towards bullets. Being away from their family for months and years at a time, seeing blowed apart bodies. And who in the world wants to do that anyway? It's too many questions. And the answers are in a book. That's why I have so many books because you can learn something in every book. You don't have to read every book, but you can learn something in every book. And now they have these digital books, and now they have audible books. So there's no excuse why a person should not be getting information out of a book. And I know a lot of people will not read. It's a learned behavior. And that's why, you know, take this for instance. I'm looking at this black um, soap opera called Beyond the Gates. And we're different. Why our shows can't be different? And of course, the mother came from the projects, and now she's living in a big fancy house behind gates. They're showing how you could rise up out the ghetto and get and have a good life, a wealthy, decent life. And also, you could take Susie out the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of Susie. They're doing ghetto stuff. But what I want to know is why the family can't come from a rich royalty background that has mysteries of passion and deceit and illegitimate kids and treasure and why the parents can't be rich and why they can't be doing business with Africa, having trade wars with Africa. I mean, of course, see, stories have to have some kind of mystery, some kind of passion, some kind of deviousness and sexual tension. Okay. Um, and you can have all that, but why we can't have royalty in that? Uh, I just wish we could just be different sometime. Be do something different because it's a learned behavior. Our young ones are learning. They don't have too much for black teenagers. I see that now because all the shows that my kids was looking at and my grandkids are looking at are basically dominantly white, and the the plot and the mission is always geared around European ideas. I think we had more dark skinned cartoons and shows for black kids when my kids was growing up back in the 70s. But of course, the disciples of distraction been around a long time, and they have distracted us with money, liquor, drugs, and partying. I know back in the 70s, we had bars galore. It was party time. I mean, we had this one street, well, a few streets that you could find at least 5 or 6 bars on it. You talking about bar hopping? I don't know what they do now. And but then they started closing down the bars when crack came around. And people didn't have nothing to do no more. But instead of building up having clubs or think tanks, like Trump would call them, a building that people go to think. That's what we need. We need think tanks. The kind that he was talking about that build buildings and they go think in. We didn't have that. We didn't have theaters where we can go see the kind of movies we want to see. I remember they used to have after hours. Now, I don't know, these after hours, I don't know if they still do. They probably do. Used to have cards parties. People would go to people's houses and play cards and gamble. And you didn't hear about, well, I did. People getting shot and killed at the gambling house. We was having way much fun now. I mean, back then than they do now. Like I said, I'm not out there. I didn't grow up out of that mess. Once they closed down my watering hole, I stopped going to bars. It was um it was three bars I used to go to. And then gradually they started getting violent. Because I remember going in this one bar and these people was coming out all bloodied. I still went in there though. Uh yeah. And then when they started building more churches, and then the bars started closing because, and it was all systematic. They started closing up the black owned stores, the black owned restaurants, because we had plenty of barbecue joints. They start disappearing. The stores start disappearing. All the corner stores was ran by black people. They started closing. The bars started closing. And then the factory jobs start moving away, closing up. What do we do? Nothing. Because we were still in that we can't do nothing without the white man helping us. We could not fight against this um, tyrannical government that sold us out. And for one thing, we did it to ourselves because when we was making all that money, what did we build? Yeah, we started buying houses, big cars, getting another family or two, but we didn't build no infrastructure. We didn't care about our children, at least the ones that I know. I mean, they were too busy enjoying their life, making money. I don't think it's too many of us when I was graduating really actually graduated and went on to own businesses or got good jobs because our parents was too busy making money, buying fancy stuff. Instead of us making sure the next generation has better. They starting to do that now. I am very happy to say that they are starting to do that now. But right now, you can have all the money in the world and still don't be shit. I mean, serious because of the atmosphere that we are living in, and your kids is living good, having good fancy stuff, but somebody around the corner is not. 9 out of 10, they're gonna wind up robbing that child. We didn't make sure all our children were gonna have it good. And then just like the projects, like I was bringing up, this woman came out the projects and living a good life. We should have never let the projects get that bad. I'm talking about the parents. It was the parents' responsibility to make sure kids are mannerable, and making sure. But well, it's it's can be rectified. We can do better. You know, I got this one book called The Choice by Samuel Yeti. He said he lost his job because he wrote this book. And chapter 1 says a plan to destroy the obsolete people. The murder of Dr. King tells Negroes that if one of the greatest among them is not safe from the assassin's bullet, then what can the least of them hope for? In this contrast, those young Black militants who have resorted to violence feel vindicated. Look what happened to Dr. King, they say. He was nonviolent. He didn't hurt anybody. And look what they did to him. If we have to go down, let's go down shooting. Let's take Whitey with us. That was in 1968. Now we have Black Trump supporters. And what happened with that thinking? Oh, they came and blew that out the water. That's what I'm saying. And I'm going to say this, and I mean it. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Gandhi, all them people died for nothing. Because look at us. Now we're killing each other by the dozen. Going to jail by the 20 dozen. Every day. Go to the jail. Go to court. Like Fred Fox said on Saturday Sun, I don't see nothing but niggas in here. Seriously. And we do it to ourselves. I was looking at this one show, and this happened right here where I live. And they got caught stealing. Or they was accused of stealing. And I know because I worked in retail, and they can't stop. You can't stop somebody unless you actually see them stealing. So when they try to stop them, they gonna start fighting. Like, leave me alone. Get away from me. You can keep the stuff. I'm leaving. Honey, why are you fighting? And then the pregnant daughter want to jump in and start arguing with the police. So she wound up going to jail too. And she went to jail. Both of them wound up going to jail and added 2 more charges. And a sad incident happened about a year ago. This pregnant woman went to Kroger's, caught stealing on the camera. The police called, and she's going to refuse to get out the car, and then tried to take off, and the police shot her dead. Sad. Learned behavior. Why are our young ones dying so young for no reason? Because they're headstrong, and it's a learned behavior. They learn it from home. They learn it from TV, video game, school. They don't know how to use their brain. They don't know how to use their mouthpiece. They don't know how to think. We need those think tanks. um, and I got a kind of a glimpse of it because my two daughters, my twin girls, went to jail for doing the same thing. My daughter, who's started hanging with a this girl and thought stealing was cool. So she goes to Walmart. They must not get the memo. You don't steal in Walmart or Kmart because if you're black, they looking at you anyway. But anyway, uh, they catch you going out the store. Okay, she putting up a little ruckus, and my other daughter gets into it. Tell me, leave my sister alone. Leave her alone. You know, talking all that mess. They wind up, both of them wind up going to jail. Because they feel like, and believe me, they ain't been back. They got it expunged. And now they are business owners. Some of us have to learn the hard way. Okay. And it's nothing wrong with that because I've learned the hard way. But I'm just saying, we've been it's been put in our heads that we are victims. And we stopped because we're black. We are hated because we're black. We have a target on our back because we're black. And we have to fight the system. All that stuff drowns out common sense and the ability to reason and the ability to fight intelligently. And we are not taught that we are different. We have to act different. We can't act like the people in the 17th, the 18th, 19th century. We are different. We are a different breed of people because we don't have the roots that we have are severed forever. And it is so sad. And of course, it's a lot of other people that don't know their roots, don't know, um, because we wasn't taught who we are, and it wasn't taught because a lot of us felt like it didn't matter. If you didn't come from royalty, what's the point of knowing who your great grandfather was? But I love to hear people when they could name who their great grandfather was and all that stuff. If we could only put it in our mind that we are different and we have to act different. Um, and we're gonna have to just get structured, get a system going that's going to work for all of us, and to get a strategy going, and stop letting people with money rule us, and get our attention away from what is important to us, to our family. You know that song, they're not like us. Well, that's true in many ways. Um, let me say, we do have a crisis of the black intellect, in, in intellectual, and we do, because a lot of this stuff is not being taught in school. It's not being taught in the home, and these kids are just getting wayward. And we know once those cuffs is on, and they behind those clankers, what are they thinking? How's they feeling? 9 out of 10, they probably don't have the emotional support, and some of them are going to be let out. This is a this is a lot to learn. Wow. I just opened this up and it's talking about a a schematic view of the American welfare society. Let me see. You had the grand elites, which is the CIA, armed forces, big industry. The president advisors, national security cabinet, Congress, the Federal Reserve, the power cap, the Supreme Court, the FBI, and big business. The middle elites are the education, religion, Democratic Party, state government, Republican Party. The middle is organized labor, Siberia. The middle section, small businesses, family, small towns. Sub elites are the ethnic groups, institutions, the lower whites, the upper blacks, the middle, lower, the basins, and then you have the welfare section. And if you look at it, you have the welfare, which is really the poor, because when you have to wait on a check, they expect people to really live off of $900 a month. They really expect you to live off of $900 a month. And then you have the middle class. And then you have the rich. That don't sound right. Now, how do you go from $900 a month, the poor, the welfare, to the middle class making how much do the middle class make? They make I say about 5,000 a month. I remember reading that this one politician, she wasn't no big high politician, but she said she makes $12,000 a month. Can you imagine making $12,000 a month? And then you have the ultra rich. Well, I guess you have the rich and then the ultra rich and then the way too damn rich. Um, you have the rich, pulling in $30,000 a month. The ultra rich, $40,000 a month. And then you have the too damn rich. I don't know how they don't $100,000 a month. And that adds up. And I know that's just a small guess. But then you have the poor making $900 to $2,000 a month. And that's what they're living off of. Wow. Wow. Well, let me see. I'm going to be charging this up in a little bit. So I want to talk a little bit about fear because it looks like we're living in a lot of fear right now. You know, we just had a couple of mass shootings the other day. Okay, let's read this. This is so old. It's falling to pieces. It's the African American quotations. Okay, fear. Never, never let a person know you're frightened or weak. Because when you just like the I'm so tired of seeing these fights on videos. Somebody called them a name and they want to start fighting. That's showing a lack of discipline. That's showing weakness. It really is. To defend oneself against fear is simply to ensure that one will one day be conquered by it. Fears must be faced. James Baldwin. That is true. Because I was scared to death of flying. I finally flew in a plane and I still don't like flying, but I faced my fear. Oh, I was afraid because I was ignorant. Tawana Bradley. I don't know who that is. A crime subject. Crime subject. Fear causes people to do the easy thing, the quickest thing. Evander Holyfield. Okay. Fear is a two-edged sword that sometimes cut the wielder. So true. Jackie Robinson. It is the family that gives us a deep private sense of belonging. Here we first begin to have our set. Oh, that's another thing. That's something else. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to stop living in fear. I know it's easy to say and then done because a lot of fear keeps us from going out in the neighborhood talking to people. And you see people when you see people doing it, that's because they're walking around with cameras. So something most likely is not going to happen to them. But then we hear about this woman that was killed out there talking to people and stuff. It's sad that people can't get the help they need because of fear. It's easy to get on camera. It's easy to get on video, make a video, It's easy to type some words in a comment. I've gotten so many ugly comments. I have gotten a lot of ugly comments. Um, and my philosophy is, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. I try to answer with common sense, because I don't know you, you don't know me, I'll never see you again. So why am I getting all uglified? I done made videos of some comments that I done got, and that name calling, it needs to stop. It really do. It needs to stop. All right. Well, I am definitely gonna get off of here. Yo, get me a cup of coffee, get my day started. I hope everyone have a wonderful day. Stay healthy, get healthy, give somebody a hug, and we'll get through this. Um, and we have to raise up some better leaders. Aren't we tired of hearing about mass shootings? Aren't we tired about hearing about domestic violence? And I'm gonna say that about that. And I know this. Wow, you have domestic violence out here. I believe when a woman who goes and go get some kind of protection order, why are you not protecting her? That piece of paper ain't gonna stop no bullets. Somebody who needs that really needs it. It's been investigated, it's been proven. She needs it, or he needs it. Why she don't have a bodyguard? Why she's not immune from killing this food? Why she's not giving uh, protection? I mean, uh, not learn how to protect herself. She should be given a weapon. And it's so sad when you hear about they done let the fool out and don't even tell the woman he's out. I mean, it's got to be better. We need better leaders that are going to protect the people, not protect their paycheck and protect these rich white folks. Because it's a shame that everybody's talking about this Epstein files and all these child molesters, but nobody's being arrested. Okay, I got to go. Everybody have a good day and keep the peace between your ears. Thank you for watching.